Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Valvoline and Sparesbox. Don't forget Benny 5 on checkout. This week, we're back on the Falcon. We're going to be chucking a extreme twin plate in it because the clutch that's in it, it's actually starting to feel a bit funny. It's dragging, not disengaging properly, so it's probably the concentric slave's kind of at the end of its life. And if we're going to change the concentric, we're going to change the whole thing. So going to dive on in. We've got admittedly an extremely too aggressive clutch for the current combo. Part of my 2025 plan is to consolidate vehicles, so I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with the Lexus yet. So there's every chance this is actually going to get turboed in 2025, and the running gear from the Lexus may end up in another car. That is all pending selling some other stuff first though. Like, I've got my eye on a project, but I don't want to talk about it until it's at least locked in that I bought the car to start that project with. But yeah, long story short, the Lexus running gear may end up in a road car in 2025 as well, because yeah, I don't need 2 drift cars and I don't need 2 track cars. So, but yeah, road cars are more usable. Anyway, it's gonna be a pretty big job and we're starting late because reasons, but it's gonna be fun, hopefully. And we're gonna have mad twin plate rattle noises at the end of it. So let's dive on in.
Oh no.
Nah, it'll be sweet.
Sweet.
Always take the fill plug out first.
Do as you say and as you do.
In this case, yep. Oh, that's right, I forgot about this. Because this isn't actually the fill plug on Falcons.
True.
I forgot that part. Interestingly, another comment about our Falcon oil level, which we're still working on, apparently filling it through the reverse hole is the correct fill point, but it's not till it spills out. You've got to measure the amount of oil. So we're going to change that again today. And apparently the theory as to why we're puking oil out is because the box is over full, which entirely makes sense.
So today will be the actual right way to fill the
Well,
box.
maybe.
Third time lucky.
Let's hope.
Why did you say before you were interested to see what this gearbox oil looks like?
Just what it's been through, really.
Yeah, okay.
No reason. Like, it's not doing anything funky, but
What has it been through to this point?
drifting.
How many times?
I don't know.
I see.
I mean, we're hyper aware this car had a hard life before I owned it, and it hasn't really got better since acquiring it, so
It probably loves it.
it probably loves it.
We love it.
Ah, spew. I need a better oil drain, hey? I don't use this portion anymore because it's too hard to empty by myself.
Yeah, it just always looks like it's going to stack it. Like, you hit one rock, man, that whole thing's going to just go
Folds up
over.
like a cheap swing set.
It's got a serious lean.
I don't think that the wheels are broken. I think the actual body of it has distorted. At least there's no coolant on the floor.
Is this better or worse?
Yep.
Just is.
Yeah, it's just different.
So you got some handy tips for us along the way, I bet?
Today,
Yeah,
well, no doubt. We're giving some stuff away.
today.
The giveaway is going to be for the next week on our Facebook page and Instagram.
Sweet.
Head
What
over
is
to
it?
the BCW Facebook, Instagram. By the time you're seeing this, it'll be live, but we're going to talk about more of that a bit later. Oil looks pretty good.
Amazing.
Nothing too funky.
No sparkles.
There's chunks of metal in the bottom of the pan, but they're from a different job, so you can't.
Yeah. Do you just keep chunks of metal in there at all times so you can say that every time?
Nah.
Just block your ears and hope for the best?
Nah. I did diff oil the other day on a car that was very chunky.
Okay.
So chunky you can carve it. All the disappointment and sadness was in the last oil, not this oil.
How many of those have you pumped through? Boxes?
I think that's my third. Still gonna smell it.
Wow. It's great.
As soon as you do oil, like any lubricant on your hands,
Yeah.
just quick clean up. A
Bins.
certain non-branded tool company actually sell tool wipes.
Oh, there you go.
I'm like, just use the hand wipe after you've used it a couple of times on your hands. There's no harsh solvents in the wipers, so
Yeah.
my hands are definitely much nicer.
Yeah.
And they're already at least 50% better than they were before I started using wipers and grip mitts.
Like I said, you got cameraman hands now.
I know, right? It looks like I don't do anything. Putting. You know, it's crazy. There's no bolts in that. It's literally sitting on the sealant right now.
Yeah, right. That's kind of a nice noise too.
Shrunk.
I'm working on those 10-hour loops.
People are asking.
They are.
You've done this to yourself now.
I have. I'm working on it, but it takes a while to make, so
Does it take 10 hours? What's the bet these U-bolts are imperial, not metric? It's not 10. So I'm going to take a punt, but they're going to be 7/16. Go to the tractor fixing toolbox.
I do like that toolbox. It's a nice one.
It's only been to the US like 3 times. Clutch dump it. Oh yeah, get
that
in.
was great.
Oh. Just straight up clear abuse of tools.
Does that void the warranty?
Probably.
Should I just delete that shot
Nah.
for you? Oh, that was a good one.
Just clutch dumping, bro. That's such a good term, clutch dump your ratchet. Someone put that in the comments.
Yeah, I saw. So good. Great
Someone
success.
thought it'd be a good idea to put heaps of Loctite on there. I am someone.
It is a good idea though, isn't it? Legitimately?
Probably.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, I'd rather have Loctite than a tail shaft through my fuel tank and floor.
Yeah.
The screwdriver's missing. Stop looking, I found it.
Thank goodness.
That's what happens when you got so many flat surfaces in a shop. Everyone loves the neutral bomb.
I don't get it.
Like when you have an auto and you go from neutral to drive, like just
Oh, right.
max revs and just pop it in.
Oh, that's great.
Ah! Got puked on.
Ah.
Oh, it's soaking through. That's a tea towel from like 1978.
Wow. Look at all the mushrooms on it.
Oh, we're gonna come down.
Okay.
Got to pull the shifter off.
Oh, of course. Yeah, good remembering.
Yeah, that'd be a sucky time to try and fix that.
Yeah. That's why you're here, for all those good remembering things.
That's all I'm good for.
Remembering how to pull cars
Fixing your
apart.
cars and whatever.
Yeah.
It smell like ATF now. That's where the converter bolts would be on an auto, on a BABF.
Yeah.
But on an FG, that is there, the sump's there.
Cool.
So to get the bolts, you've actually got to go through the starter motor hole.
So this is much easier this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lovely.
And to get things through the starter motor hole is a bad time on an FG. And then that's when people invariably cross-thread the starter motor bolts.
Righto.
And at that point, no one wins. Sorry, not the starter motor bolts, the converter bolts.
Oh, yeah.
See ya. Oh! Yeah, there's no disconnect on that clutch line at all. Yeah, it goes all the way. Mad. Good design.
Is that sarcasm?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well picked up.
So where do you have to disconnect it from?
The clutch master, pretty much.
Righto.
So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to crimp the fluid supply line to the reservoir.
Oh,
So
is it
hopefully it doesn't spew all the fluid out.
And then do you have to bleed this anyway?
We have to bleed it anyway, so
Okay.
it's not the end of the world. But what I don't want to happen is the clutch master cylinder to run dry,
Yeah, okay.
because then it's much harder to bleed.
Yeah.
But I can smack this in here. And then that's literally just a clip. So that unclips. And then that line should slide off now. Hey.
Nice. And is that a stock hose?
That's all factory, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Crack that. Oh, what's going on there? That's interesting.
What have we got?
I think someone's changed the starter motor bolt.
Can you see what you're doing, or are you just doing it all by feel at the moment?
All by feel.
Yeah, damn. Have you ever pulled a gearbox out on the ground, as in
Yeah.
not using a hoist?
Yeah.
Is it a lot more difficult?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it fun? No.
Can you rent hoist spaces?
Yeah. Yeah, so some places are doing it,
Yep.
but I don't see it working as a business model.
Yeah, okay. Is that from like insurance point of view,
Well-
or is it?
Partly, yes, but just the physical cost, right? So you go and get an industrial factory, even a, like, let's say 100 square meter factory, right?
Yeah.
So you could put 3 hoists in it if you're lucky. Depending on the location in Australia, that factory would cost you, let's call it $2,500 a month. Each hoist, by the time they're fitted, if they're decent quality hoists, $7,000 a hoist, 21 grand.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have someone there to man it, because it can't just be like fitness first where you just come and go as you please. Like someone's got to man that place.
True.
So you're going to pay someone $1,000 a week to sit there in the office watching people not kill themselves.
Yeah.
Your insurance for something like that would be astronomical. If I had to take a punt, I'd say insurance on that sort of business would be 20 grand a year.
Yeah,
Because there's just such a lot of liability there.
Yeah.
So you'd have to have all 3 hoists booked 24/7 basically to make any money out of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, like I've seen a few pop up now. There's been 3 or 4 of them pop up I've seen in Australia.
Right.
And they're all all the ones I've seen so far come and go.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't seen one hang around.
Makes sense, I guess.
Because I think the problem is, everyone says they want that until you've got to pay like $110 an hour for it.
That's it, and then it's
Because
like, well,
the thing
that
is, right,
costs.
the price is not much cheaper than a mechanic.
That's it, yeah.
I'm trying to decide if I pull it out Commodore style and split the bell housing from the engine, bell housing from the gearbox, or if I pull the gearbox, I think I'm just going to split it. Because then it means I don't have to try and wrestle it around the exhaust manifold. Like there's just no weight. And I think we've got to actually split it. Yeah, let's just split it. Good
When you
chat.
say split it, you mean from here?
No. Well, yes, but the bell housing, so this is the bell housing, this piece.
Yeah.
And the gearbox on the Tremec, like T5, T56, TR6060, TKO, like that whole Tremec range, the bell housing bolts to the gearbox. So it's a completely separate unit.
Right.
So basically it's a modular thing. So you could put this gearbox behind any number of engines. But some gearboxes like the RB25 gearbox, RB20 gearbox, SR gearbox, the Asian 6-speed that's in 7 million cars in the 90s and early 2000s from Japan, the bell housing is actually part of the transmission case. So it's like the front half of the gear case as well. So if you want to change the bell housing for a different engine, you've got to get, it's only a very limited pool of being able to get gearboxes or get the bell housing to suit the gearbox and all mate together. But yeah, like this box, there's so many aftermarket bell housings, and you can even actually get adapter plates to go to some automatic transmission bell housings, because the beauty of the T-Series stuff, predominantly the hydraulic clutch release, which is normally a slave cylinder, it's a concentric bearing in this, so it means you don't actually have to have a clutch fork provision in the bell housing. So when we did the 6-speed into the Crown, we also converted that to a concentric slave, but predominantly those R-Series boxes and most Japanese boxes have an external slave cylinder with a fork. But by doing away with all that and going concentric slave, you can literally use an auto bell housing because you don't need the mount or any of the provision for it. So can make conversions much easier to use a concentric slave rather than trying to make a fork work with all that other sort of jazz. Use my wobble socket.
Oh, I was going to say, why does that look special? Because it is.
Because it's an impact socket and wobble in one. That's half the reason I've got to sell my Viper, is to pay for those sockets.
I believe the term is tweaky socket.
Tweak your socket.
Sounds very rude. I'm not putting that in.
Why not?
I don't know. Just
said worse shit that you put in. As soon as it's about you, you get all defensive. Oh, my socket tweaked. Pump up the jam.
Pump it up. All the way.
Pump up the copyright claim. That feels very much like there's still a bolt in there. There's no more bolts.
Okay. What line's that coming out of the gearbox?
That's the clutch line.
Okay, right.
So that goes to the clutch. Well, in this instance, the concentric bearing, which is normally a slave cylinder. Just going to support that because when we pull the box off, the whole engine's going to want to slam down.
Okay, smart.
So now it means that the install angle will be the same as the removal angle, which means we don't have to adjust the transmission jack or anything like that.
Smart.
So that's just going to lock it in. It's only really supporting the tilting, so where possible, protect the sump, but because we're not trying to lift the whole engine off that little point, we're just supporting the weight. Yeah. It'll be fine.
So is that the hard part, the easy part?
I'd say we're over the hill at this point.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, this car stuff really is a breeze.
I know, right? It's easy when you're not doing it.
I'm sorry for jinxing us, by the way. Sorry in advance.
I don't know what the is going on there.
Yeah, right on cue.
Doesn't matter, this part goes in the bin.
Okay, lovely.
But it's more, it's gonna sploot out at me. So that clip has been just floating around.
Could that explain the vague feeling, dragging?
So that's supposed to sit there.
Okay.
But it wasn't, it was literally stuck in that spline, which is very odd.
Okay, so does that mean it's basically fixed?
No, this is buggered.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll just all go.
What bearing's that called again? Did you just say that?
That's the release bearing, but this is the concentric slave cylinder, which is plastic, so I hope the new one's not plastic.
When people say throw-out bearing?
Yeah, throw-out bearing.
Oh, same. Cool. Okay.
It just, the problem is with cars, right?
Yeah.
There's different names for stuff, and especially sometimes you get different names for stuff depending on the country.
Yes.
So a lot of times I'll actually change the name of things or refer to it multiple names, like because of our US audience or...
Yeah, is that how you bleed
Yeah,
something?
that's the bleeder.
Okay, righto.
So is that where you undid the bleeder on yours?
Yes. I'm pretty sure so.
Okay.
It was a long time ago now.
Okay, good. Because if you didn't, you've done it wrong. You'll be pleased to know that there's a mix of bell housing bolts and transmission crossmember bolts. So we just have to count how many there are and work out where the 4 go and where the 6 go.
And your spare bolt tray can't save us in this instance, can it?
Yeah, but we have the right amount of bolts though. It's just they've been put in the wrong spot.
Oh.
It's an install error because as it turns out, someone's been here before.
I don't believe it.
Especially given the activities that it's partaken in.
Yes, all the clutch testing.
Come on now.
No other funny words for bell housing?
Bell end.
Uh-huh.
Not really.
Actually, legitimately?
No, not even a little bit. It's a sludgy dog.
Does this just go straight in the bin?
See what it looks like.
Yeah, okay.
Might get one go on marketplace.
Yeah,
The flywheel's probably worth keeping.
Righto.
It's different to your car though. Like 6-speed and 5-speed. There's a different flywheel apparently.
When people say that they're going to machine the flywheel, what's that all about?
So typically when you replace the clutch, you machine the flywheel face, which as soon as I get the flywheel out, I'll show you.
Okay, build that suspense.
What's more so I can explain it properly.
Yeah, that too.
Nope. It's because I undid all of them and then never backed that one off before I just sent it. So the whole clutch spring load is now on that bolt.
There you go. Yes, I sure can.
Thanks. Just so I don't wear a clutch as a face tool. Yeah, she's smoked. It's got evidence of burn marks pretty much everywhere. It's also starting to actually lose material off the outer edge in some spots. So it's just coming apart. It's had a hard life, but that's not entirely surprising. Interestingly, it is just an extreme, like a stage 1 heavy duty organic, so it does have a higher clamp load than standard, but that's destined for the bin.
What are the signs that this is stuffed? Like, are you looking for like lack of material? Like, if I say, for example, the space there is in between the
depth's not
or...
too bad there, but on the other side, we'll see how you've got like real shiny patch here.
Okay.
You've got uneven clamping and that middle part's burnt basically.
Right.
And then you've also got a pretty big burn line here.
Yep. So if we compare that to the new clutch, I guess...
Well, it's totally different because it's a twin plate.
Ah, okay. All right, no worries.
But we do have flywheel bolts, so that's a winner.
That is a winner.
My favourite thing ever.
Ah,
Steel
the
alignment tool,
yeah.
bro. Throw out bearing, is it plastic? Is it plastic? Hey, aluminium. Hey, it's a legit AP one too.
Oh,
nice. And they give you an extended bleeder in the kit as well, so it must be like a multi-fit. So that's nice. So that stops it just puking clutch fluid out into the bell housing when you bleed it. So hopefully that actually sticks out of the top of the bell housing.
This may sound like a silly question,
yes.
but clutch kit, is that literally everything you need to change your clutch?
This particular extreme kit is every single bit. So you get an alignment tool.
Yeah.
you get a spigot bearing or a pilot bearing, depending on what country you're from. You get flywheel to crank bolts, and they've even got locking washers, so that's a really nice touch. Because they know that Barrett flywheels fall off. Same deal, you get a bleed nipple extension, you get some instructions, and then the nice stuff.
Is this the moment of truth that you're going to figure out if it actually fits or not?
No, we're sweet. And then that's the hero piece right there.
Ooh, looks nice.
That's the hotness. The one thing we do need to check once we get the flywheel off is the ring gear diameter, because there are different ring gear diameters in Falcons.
Okay.
And hopefully I ordered the right one. Well,
but this is a flywheel, this part here?
Yeah, so the new kit is a modular setup where predominantly a lot of the hardware is common between the X-clutch range. So this is a 9-inch or a 230mm clutch. So things like this basket typically are common. The cover, the diaphragm spring will change depending on the application, depending on finger heights and whatnot. And same deal, the clutch discs will be the same, just with a different hub spline, which it comes pressed together, you don't change that. But yeah, these are cool because they're pretty modular. Same clutch we used in the IS. I've used them in all sorts of stuff over the years, and they're just pretty good. South Australian made, Australian product. You can buy all over the world.
Lovely.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no.
Bro.
Oh no.
Massive thanks to Gritmits. We've got 3 of these prize packs to give away. Simply jump onto the Benny's Custom Works Facebook or Instagram page, tag 2 of your mates, and make sure you're following both Benny's Custom Works and Gritmits on Instagram. This is only open to Australian entrants, so sorry guys. Jump in, tag some mates, get some grit on your mitts.
Oh my goodness, what is that? Is that some sort of lock nut so no one steals your flywheel?
Bro, that is the best. I got my flywheel lock nut. What the f?
Damn.
Canberra boys, what were you doing? I'm not angry on this, and they're just garbage 8.8. I'm surprised I still have legs.
Oh no. Really?
Wow.
Oh, of course, because if that disengages, that's spinning at
7,000 RPM.
And it can go through the floor.
Well, it's really common to see Falcon bell housings just get totally lunched and flywheels just sent to the moon.
Okay, so the bell housing would actually
oh yeah, it'd shear
protect
it.
you.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
Oh shit.
No, so the bell housing on these are not rated for catching flywheels. So on the Cresta, where it has the steel QuickTime bell housing, the same company actually makes a bell housing for this exact reason.
Wow.
To stop you getting your legs removed by a flywheel with rando V'd-up golf bolts in it.
Wow. Well, I'm extra happy that you decided to do this today then.
Same. I like legs.
Yeah.
Oh, that didn't feel good.
Cross-threaded AF.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
No. You already said this was going to be a long job.
I think it might have just got longer. That one come out all right. That one's mostly good. Uh-oh.
Do you want me to hold the bolts or hold the flywheel? Or
Gone, I think, at this stage.
I'll just keep filming.
Oh, that one doesn't look good either. Oh, this has had a flywheel come off before.
How can you tell?
By the chattering on here.
I see. That's gotten loose at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, righto.
Just barra things.
So you're just going to re-tap that thread?
Just going to chase the threads.
Okay, and so at the same size of what it currently is?
Yeah, so I'm just cleaning them up.
Is there grease in those already, or do you have to use grease with taps and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's a good idea. I've just sprayed some lube in there.
Okay. And what's the reasoning behind that? Just to help
so
it?
You're not just chopping at stuff.
Okay.
Just helps it clean out and, I don't know, reasons.
Okay.
Hey, at least you can get to the coolant temp sensor now.
Oh, whoa.
That's
is that it
of
there?
a job, yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, it's broken.
Yeah,
We'll fix that for sure.
Wow. Sorted now?
I mean, there's some thread engagement there, but it's definitely not the greatest.
I see.
This engine's never going to be in here long term anyway, so if we go turboing it, I'll build a super basic, like just piston and rod motor, just for the fact of some reliability.
Piston and rod motor, meaning you're literally just changing pistons and
Yeah,
rods?
just put forged pistons and rods in it.
Yeah, cool.
Which it'll probably even end up with second handies.
Yeah.
Because when we freshen the Cresta motor up, we'll put the new pistons and rods in that. And then the pistons and rods from that will probably end up in this. Because it's not really the sort of thing you sell, but they're too good to just throw away.
Is it a big job to turbo this?
It's not going to be a 12-part series if that's what you're wondering, but
No.
physical hardware, it bolts on, with the exception of having to add water and oil. Like we need oil feed, oil drain, and then water supply and return.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, no, not really.
Okay.
So that's why the thread's damaged, is because they've used the wrong thread pitch.
Wow.
The rear main actually looks fine, hey?
That's lucky.
I think it's actually leaking between the sump and the block.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Yeah. Would have rather the rear main leak.
You're just cleaning out bits of metal that because you've just
Well,
tapped.
it's predominantly like thread locker,
Okay.
because there's tons of thread locker in there. I found in my stash of spare parts a coolant temp sensor. For Barras, actually, this is a cylinder head temperature sensor, so that doesn't actually touch coolant at all. Do not put thread sealer on this, it absolutely doesn't need it. It comes with a crusher washer, but you also don't need that because, like I said, it's nothing to seal. It literally goes into a blind hole in the head, and it's actually measuring the cylinder head temperature, the aluminium temperature, not the coolant temp, so don't need to seal it up. And then if you do put sealer on it, it's an absolute mission to change next time. So we're going to swap this out before we go putting stuff together. And given that we've just found this train wreck of a thing, I've chased the threads. I have a kit to dowel the crank to the flywheel, and I think given that that bolt hole is already unhappy, we'll definitely do that. Because yeah, some of these other ones even don't look great. So
What's the reasoning behind doweling that?
it's supposed to stop or minimize the flywheel, in this case, moving on the crank.
Okay.
So it should reduce crank fretting. Don't use Bunnings bolts to hold your flywheel on.
Yeah, seems real unsafe.
If you like your legs,
Yeah.
that annoys me. Like, that's just straight up dangerous shit.
Especially like if, obviously like in this case, you know, they've sold a car to you and you know what you're doing, but
I mean, old mate might not have been the one that put it together. So
that's true. That's true.
I'm not angry at old mate. Like,
Yeah, yeah. We're not
I
sure
knew
who
the
did
junker I was buying,
it. Yeah.
but when you find stuff that's... I actually hope someone did this in their backyard. Because if a workshop did this,
Yeah, of course.
my lord.
Do you think it's actually like lack of knowledge?
I would hazard a guess. I would hope that this was done at like 6 p.m. on a Sunday night to
Yeah.
get to work.
Yeah, okay.
That's the sort of reason why you'd see something like this.
Yeah,
Not, oh yeah, I'm at a workshop and I lost a bolt, so I just sent it.
yeah. So what's the advantage of going the twin plate? Obviously this is one plate, correct?
Twice the amount of load sharing.
Ah, cool.
So instead of driving the car through one,
Yes.
through just that surface area, you're driving it through two.
Ah, that's cool.
Man, that's going to be an aggressive clutch.
Kind of like a button, like on off.
It is, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Remember when I bought the 180? It had some sort of clutch that was on or off, and
Old school, proper, like Jap, single
Yeah.
plate, like OS Geekin or something.
I guess so.
Yeah.
All I know is I looked like a real douche at lights. Well, every single green light, I guess.
Red light,
Red light, green light.
green light.
After every
Dun,
single
dun,
stop.
dun, dun. One person will understand that reference.
Oh, maybe two.
Yeah, so that's broken. It was still operational, evidently, but no good. Like, that's literally only holding on by the two electrical wires. You could probably resurrect that and glue it if you absolutely had to. But for the cost of a sensor,
Of
and the
course.
fact I already had one on hand,
Do you think that's been giving you inaccurate readings?
nah.
Okay.
It's the sort of thing that's on or like good or bad.
Righto. Okay.
So it won't add resistance to cause dramas, but yeah, it'll be dead or good,
Okay.
luckily. But it'll give it if there was an issue, there would have been every chance after I touched it that it would wig out.
Yep.
And with these, you literally just want to bottom the sensor out, because looking at the sensor, see at the bottom of the thread here,
Yep.
that is very thin brass. So if
Right.
you over tighten it, it literally just snaps off.
Oh wow.
How do I know that?
Oh no.
Oh yeah,
Oh no.
I've done that. Fortunately, not in the car. So we need to change the pilot bearing or the spigot bearing.
What's its job?
Supports the input shaft. It supports it in the crank.
Cool.
So we'll pull that one out and smash a new one in.
What's the lifespan of something like this?
A clutch, typically.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you could try and run it again, but
Yeah, why would you?
why would you bother?
Yeah.
It literally comes with the clutch kit. Don't feel like much has happened. I was pulling the guts out of it.
So that's the insert that just came out?
Yeah, well, that's the bearing,
Okay.
but we've got to now go back in again because what we've done is now we've pulled this part out,
Yeah.
but this part's still in the crank.
Yeah.
So we'll pull that out as well. See what this does. There we go. So before, John, you asked about machining the flywheel. This is the old one out of the car. This is probably a cast material, not a chromoly flywheel. So this face is what you would machine. On this particular flywheel, it is flat, so you literally just machine the whole thing. Make sure that you pull the dowel pins out before you're trying to send it through a grinder, because that'll be a bad time otherwise. For two reasons: A, you're going to break the machine, and B, you're not going to have dowels anymore, which you need to locate the clutch correctly. But yeah, give them a good skim, and generally they're good to go. If it's a step flywheel, make sure that when you do grind it, I mean, typically people aren't grinding their own flywheel anyway, but make sure that the height is still correct, so there'll be an offset if it's a step flywheel, and if that offset's not correct, you'll have all sorts of clamping load dramas. So yeah, probably more notes for someone who's machining flywheels than someone who's taking it to get machined, but yeah, something to keep in mind so you don't mill it the incorrect offset and then the clutch doesn't do the right thing. Don't try adjusting it either, it doesn't work, trust me. I'm just measuring the thickness of the flywheel. So we want to know how thick that is. Our dowel pins are 20 mil. So basically we want to drill a 10 mil hole depth. So it's got to go 18 mil. So what I want to do is bolt this up. 35.1. 35 plus 18. 53 mil. I'm only going to drill 3 out of 6 because it doesn't need, well, first and foremost, it doesn't need 6. Secondly, we only have 3 dowels. The Cresta only runs 3 dowels, so it's good enough for that, it's good enough for this. I think we're into the crank because all of a sudden it started to drill heaps easier. Because this flywheel's chromoly.
Oh, righto.
It's going to be a much harder material than the crank.
Special guest, Phil. It's a workout, eh, Benny?
Oh yeah, he's a professional dowel driller. I just do it part-time.
I haven't gone far.
You need a sub out? Third sub in?
Tag.
Yeah, it's like you get where it starts to cut and the cut keeps cutting and then it...
Yeah, I think we're at the depth where we're changing materials as well. Like we've still got some flywheel, but then as soon as you start to see that grey dust, it's into the crank.
Yep.
So I think the drill's having to wig out, like the bit, because it's trying to cut 2 different densities of material. Or it clogs up with the flywheel dust, the crank dust. It's literally just stopped drilling now. Too much soup in it. I think the inox works too well.
A couple episodes ago, I remember somebody saying that heat destroys drill bit.
Yeah, for sure
Sharpness.
it does.
Yeah, that was an interesting point. I'd never considered, but now I know.
You shouldn't drill that much.
Yeah, so
Drill.
that hence water.
Yeah, but that's more, or it's more speed as well.
Yeah.
Like if you're running, and that goes back to our drill bit speed chat. That's us done. Can pull the flywheel off and properly clean it now.
One day.
Sure wasn't.
Thoughts and feelings?
It is a thing.
Cool. What are all these
73.
little glue-wackies?
So these are the magical lock washers.
How are they a lock washer?
So see how it's like beveled?
Oh yeah, cool.
When you tighten it, it flattens out.
Cool.
And that creates tension on the back of it, and also there's serrations in it, so they help bite in as well.
Yeah, rightio.
At least we've got plenty of thread engagement. Job done. There we go, it's bottomed out. I quite like this alignment tool because you can do exactly that. You don't need to have it fully assembled in order to assemble it.
Yeah.
So like the plastic style ones, you got to load it all from the front. So that means that you can't stack it in this way.
I see.
The one thing I need to do is find the alignment mark because these come balanced. And I can guarantee you the alignment mark is right at the top where I can't see it.
What you're doing just there is actually a really good explanation of that's where the starter motor spins on. Is
Yeah,
that
on
right?
the starter motor right now.
Yeah.
I'm a very poor version of the starter motor, but you get the concept.
Yeah, because I can see
Yeah, there's the mark.
because I can see the engine resistance by you doing that.
Can you just make sure that doesn't fall out?
I'll put my hand there, yeah, and hope for the best.
Thanks.
All right, do I let go now?
Yep.
So the purple housing thing has a line on it as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I
it was
see
marked as an assembly.
Yeah.
It's been unassembled. It's a word now, look it up.
This is kind of the same concept as changing drum skins.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm heavily versed in changing drum stings. So exactly.
Well, you'd be fine at it. Put it that way.
Thanks.
Because yeah, you obviously got to do the thing where you tighten it here.
Yeah. Oh, it's like building a trampoline.
Oh yeah, true. You poor guy.
Yeah, I did
can
that.
tell you've been through some things.
I built a trampoline once, and I didn't think of it by tightening bolts.
Yep. Yep.
Don't recommend.
Yep.
Let's just leave it at that. Let's just say there was some backyard ingenuity involved in assembling that trampoline that day.
I can just imagine ratchet straps tied to.
Exactly.
Oh really?
Literally use ratchet straps to pull the thing together.
Yeah, nice. Our family not being as mechanically minded, we just got more people around to help.
See, my
pull the
family doesn't
thing.
have more people.
I think I like your way better. The less people involved in that, the better.
Oh man, I can only imagine. Don't worry, there's no way I can over tighten these because this thing only does 8 Newton meters. It is good for just running bolts in though, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Like literally even just putting those other bolts in at 8 Newton meters has backed these ones off.
Yeah.
So it's doing something.
Just getting like full scientific about this though.
Yeah.
By the time you run that around, even 8 Newton meters, the last one
That'll
isn't
be
going to
loose.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the mission with tightening these, you've got to do it. Yeah, that bolt's damaged there.
You've got to do it like the actual opposite one, ideally.
Pretty much, yeah. Literally all these are loose. See?
Yeah.
So how far do we go before we end up tight again? Or do we just forever go around in circles?
Yeah, true. Are we about to find out, or do you know the answer?
No, because we'll go around and eventually, like I said, we're only doing these to 8 Newton meters, so I'll get my actual torque wrench out now.
And what's it meant to be torqued to?
18 Newton meters.
I see.
But they only need quite a low clamp load because there's so many bolts distributing the load. So that's why they've only got a small, like a 6mm bolt.
Because with their forces combined, they're the Power
Captain
Rangers.
Planet. The cow-
Is that what that is? Sorry,
You're
sorry
wrong.
everyone.
That's convenient. The last time I used it, it was 18 Newton meters. One can only imagine that I probably did a clutch.
So after this one, you're going to get your protractor out, aren't you, and make sure you get the exact opposite bolt?
No. Just gonna do it by eye.
Ah, fair. I thought you were literally getting some sort of specialty tool.
No, I just want to mark it.
Yeah, cool. So you're just going to check the ones that you just marked?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Do them again and then that's loose.
Yeah, wow. There you go.
That was 18 Newton meters.
Yeah.
And that's not even, wasn't even touching.
Yeah, and that's why this is such a lengthy process.
Got one there. 23 teeth by 1 inch. Wow.
Yeah, damn.
That was loose. Not like end of the world stuff, but still like, oh, the other thing we can do is probably put the bell housing on. Happy days. There we go. Plastic, bro. Plastic one hurts me a bit. So that we change. Clutch. So that's an 11. And is that a 12? No, of course. Of course it wouldn't be. Please, sir, get some more stupid burger spanners. And here's your metric burger. Shit, even that's loose. Oh, look at the puking.
Oh, whoa.
Just all the absolutely cooked clutch fluid. This is an extreme clutch aftermarket bleed nipple effectively. So instead of having a remote bleeder, stand by. Read the instructions. The instructions say don't depress it, for anyone wondering. That's neat. So it's like a big bleed nipple. I should have probably got an aftermarket clutch line. But to be fair, we decided to do this yesterday. Same kind of idea, the fluid, when you undo the thread, what actually happens is this seat is what's blocking the bleed nipple. So when you lift it, when you wind it out, so if that's the seat, when you unthread it, this is obviously exaggerated, the air and fluid comes past this seat and then goes up this port and through here. So on a normal brake caliper, this is way shorter, but it's exactly the same concept. And then all the fluid comes out here. And on a T56, that's inside the bell housing. So when you bleed it, it literally just pukes all down through here. And on a Commodore one, it just runs out the bottom of the box, out of the bell housing. And I think that, yeah, the Falcon one's actually at the same port. They lost a cross member bolt, and that explains why there was a bell housing bolt missing. So I'll go to my box of Ford bolts. This was a great idea until I mixed Ford bolts with Subaru bolts. But thread pitch doesn't matter, right? You just get a bigger gun and send it.
Is this fire extinguisher here just in case you like build up too much friction?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, because see at the moment, it's got to go up a touch.
Yeah.
Because the gap's tighter here than it is up there.
Yep.
Because if that's not dead flat, it'll never line up.
Yep.
Someone used all my short cable ties on their scooter. So now I've got to use the long one and waste 2/3 of the cable tie.
Who would do such a thing?
I don't know. Not the guy casually laughing, not being able to tell if he's in trouble or not. It's for the shifter to tighten the shifter, like tighten the shift feel up. So that bush goes on there.
Oh, cool.
So I've just got to replace it in a box because it's the plastic bush is in the box.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so if you look there,
Yeah.
can you see the plastic bush?
Yep, sure can.
Cool. Scalpel.
Scalpel.
It's literally like being a dentist. Man, those guys are gangsters on the mirror and the PK, like
Man.
their brains, like
Yep. Wonder if they get some sort of like sea legs, you know, like trying to switch back to the real world after they've been operating a mirror all day.
it's definitely glued in. It's alright, I just gotta level up my prying tool. It shouldn't like disintegrate,
Okay.
because of what it's made from, it should crack
Right.
and then it'll come out. It's JB welded in there, bro.
Hey,
Like someone's
wow.
fully gone to town on the
Whoa.
JBs. Oh, why? You know what the shit thing is?
It's not metal and you can't magnet it out?
No, it's still in there. And now I've got to try and get this in there. The JB weld. The idea of it is that that plastic bush has some give in it,
Right.
whereas this solid bronze or brass bush, not so much. So that'll replace that.
Cool.
And take up the clearance in there. I will bash some grease in there though, actually. Or just so it's,
go.
well, but also so it's not metal on metal,
Metal on metal is kind of like arthritis vibes.
basically. Oh, that just went straight in there. Brake cleaner is actually really good for breaking this silicone up for some reason. I'm sure there's a chemicalologist in here that can tell us why, but it's almost like paint stripper for silicone. Quick little wire brush, and it's pretty much like gone straight away.
Almost as crazy as where the reason you can use Coke to clean everything.
Because it's acid based.
Right. So, what other soft drinks are acid based then?
Possibly Dr. Pepper.
True.
Dr. Carl's cousin.
Poor Dr. Carl. No, he's not going to want to come drifting with us.
Do you reckon that's the tipping point?
So did you end up calling him?
No, I couldn't. I lost his number, bro.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Or are you just telling me that
Nah,
so I don't
for real.
make you call?
For real.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Because I told you about my whole phone thing, didn't I?
Yeah, new phone, who dis?
When I gave Dad my old phone,
Yeah.
I cleared my phone in Apple,
That's right.
in
And
Apple land, and somehow it removed
from the cloud, everything.
all the cloud
Yep.
contacts from the last 3 years.
Yeah, damn. And
So, bow.
and our drifting opportunity with Dr. Carl is...
It's all over.
Yeah.
Was over before it ever began. Just like my memories of it, because I've probably copped one too many head knocks now.
Oh, man.
The old hammer
Yeah,
forehead.
actually, you do have quite the shiner on your forehead
Is
now.
it good?
Yeah, it's pretty...
I feel like it's, Jesus, that's a good effort.
That is.
I feel like a snapper.
Oh,
Is there grease on it now too?
oh, god damn it. The thing is,
It's your
I
fault.
don't think I'm going to show any of that, right? 'Cause-
Why?
Well,
You have to now.
well, I don't think I got anything of it because you said don't film, so now we have no reference, but I'm sure the
Okay.
people have figured that you actually
I just hit myself in the head with a hammer.
Oh, man.
I'm not having an aneurysm, I'm looking for a die nut.
Okay, thank you. Oh, my God.
I'm looking for
not
an
sure
8 by
if I should be
1.25 die
concerned.
nut
What signs do I look for?
when I'm having a mental breakdown.
Check. No.
Found it. Just chasing this thread because it was a bit funny coming out. From what I can remember. Good news is that thread's cleaned up good. What's a thread? Who am I? Why am I here?
You're Batman and this is Gotham City.
Oh. You know how there's like always those dudes on Facebook that keep talking about the same nicknames about guys?
No, but okay.
You know, like it's always like those two Kiwi dudes off the radio.
Right.
And then now there's those like, you know, follow We Got the Chocolates, whatever it's called.
Nope.
Anyway, it's like a group of people that are
Someone knows what you're talking about.
somewhat comedic.
Yeah.
Anywho, they finally broke me with a nickname, and it's probably dumb because it's just simple shit. But the guy's name was Wayne Bruce
Okay.
instead of Bruce Wayne.
Right.
So his nickname was Man
okay.
Bat.
Oh, I love it.
Just
Man bat.
act like just 4 dimensions, bro. And it is one of those ones that you stew on for a little
just
bit.
reflect on.
And you're like, that's really friggin' clever. Hashtag manbat. That's a whole different video for a whole different time slot. Fan onlys.
I wonder
It's
if
the
man bat goes hand in hand with man spider.
What's his name?
Spider-Man.
No, what? Shit. I don't think you're going to find people called Parker Peter. Holy
Oh,
shit.
god damn.
That was just so like
Yeah.
instantaneous response to like, ooh, Spider-Man, ooh. Oh wait, he got me.
Hey, you guys wanted long format. You got it.
You guys have done this to yourselves. Make like Australia Post and send it to the wrong destination. We're going to destination
Copyright.
like we can use that.
Yeah, we can, because it's destination beep. Starter motor on.
Yep.
Cool. Just for the people wondering what actually went on then.
Got to be starting something.
Aha. You know what would be cool to enter?
What?
Maybe next year?
Suborbit?
I don't know what that is, but Wet Pan Warriors.
I saw that.
Would you consider?
Yeah.
There's
This
some
Sunday,
really...
this Saturday or Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah. There's some really good drivers, so like I don't think that I would do any good, if you get me. But it would be interesting and maybe fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd learn.
The only thing that sucks, I guess, about a competition as opposed to just a fun day is if you get knocked out, you're out like early.
Yeah, that's true. You don't get to drive
Like if
anymore.
it's top 32 or whatever, top 16,
Yeah,
and you are out by 11 o'clock.
yeah. True.
I'm not a good observer of car things.
Yeah,
I'm a doer.
yeah. Oh, well, just do well.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say the thing that sucks about it more so is the fact that I would feel horrendous if I caused an accident and damage to somebody else's car.
Thing is too though, it's not a train.
yeah,
It's only 2 cars.
yeah. But still, I'd feel horrendous if it was my fault and I spun and then, you know what I mean?
Don't spin.
Yeah, true. You know what? Yeah, just do well.
He's picking it up now.
All right, next year.
Just do well.
Yeah.
That's mad. It's probably not correct, but we're going to bleed a ton of fluid through this anyway, so I'd rather it be as clean as possible. Some will have a conniption, but
Yeah.
I would say.
Is it chunky or
Is it what?
are there chunks in that?
No, not really. This thing's so good, bro.
So you filled that with the
So that's got brake fluid in it, and then
Yep.
that's got brake fluid in it.
but it's vacuumed so
No,
that
it's pressure.
yeah, pressure. Yeah, right.
So once you do that, the clutch system's now pressurized.
Yep.
And when we go up, I can crack the bleeder nipple and it'll just force the fluid out.
That's so cool.
It's good, eh?
Yeah. Is that already bled up?
Well, I mean, it's starting to change colour.
Oh, what? Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, my eyes played a trick on me there.
What were you thinking it was doing?
I thought it completely changed colour, but no. It then touched the gearbox, which made the stream look visually wider.
Yeah. Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
It's a game changer for bleeding clutches.
How are you going to know when you're running low on fluid?
That's got 2
Coming
litres
through.
in it,
Okay. Okay.
so you
Yeah.
don't.
Yep.
Because what I did was I topped the reservoir off,
Yeah.
then put whatever was left from the bottle in that, because
Yeah.
I only used VR1 in that.
Yep.
And then it was literally nearly filled, and it's 2.5 litres. So
Sweet.
we could sit here for an hour, and that'd probably just about still have some fluid in it.
Wow.
But it's coming out dead clear now. But man, for T56 cars and TR6060, especially when they're using a factory reservoir, because that adapter literally screws to the top of the reservoir, so you pressurize the whole thing,
Yeah.
and it's just happy days.
How much fluid can the system hold internally?
As in, like when you bleed it, like if it was empty to full on the clutch,
Yeah, yeah. How much liquid would it take to fill that? Everything you
probably
need in a
100
car?
mil, 200 mil
Yeah,
maybe.
cool. So we
Not
can
even
safely
half a
say
bottle.
that much more than that has passed through the whole system.
Oh, easily.
So it would have cleared all the air out
And flushed all the junk
pretty
out.
quick. Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing with those T5 or T5 and T56, TR6060.
Yep.
If you don't bleed them properly, you just never get the, like, someone who's going to chuck a back bleed on that for 2 minutes,
Yeah.
you're not going to pull all the junk out of it.
Yeah.
You really need
And
to bleed it. Like,
evidently-
have a look.
Yeah.
That's a fair bit of fluid to
Yeah,
pump through
wow.
that clutch in that time.
Wow. And that would explain when you took that line off, dribbled it on the floor, how dirty that was.
Yeah, because people don't flush them, bro. That's the other thing too. Every time you do brake fluid on a car, you should do clutch fluid if it's a hydraulic clutch.
Yeah.
But so many people just forget. Manual cars aren't that common anymore.
True. Do you think that manual cars are going to hold their value stronger than autos just because there's less of them naturally? Or do you reckon the
Depends
demand
on
for
the
them will
car.
go down?
Like a manual Kia Rio? Probably not.
Yeah.
But like a manual Falcon or a manual Commodore
Yeah, of course.
or any JDM Hero car.
Of course, yeah.
Like look at, like, say a Honda NSX is probably a prime example of that question. a manual Gen 1 NSX, an auto Gen 1 NSX, for one that's average condition, average Ks, in Australia you're looking at like under 80 grand on the road.
Yeah.
But you buy one that's manual, double, like easily double,
wow. Yeah,
like
right,
easily double for a comparable condition car.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty hectic, eh? But I mean, most cars I wouldn't say are going to be double their auto counterpart.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the model split. Like some manufacturers will do like literally 50-50 manual to auto.
Yeah. Okay.
Or did, I should say, back in the day.
Yeah.
But typically, you're going to be looking at least 90% auto.
Yeah, wow.
If not more, I reckon, these days.
Yeah, true.
Well, most manufacturers don't even provide manual option anymore.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I find that there's more control in a manual.
The newer the auto, the more
True.
the better the driving experience.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I guess, for want of a better term.
Yeah. I suppose these days, it's like
There's some absolutely garbage manuals out there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Like most front-wheel drive manuals, the shifters are always horrible.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I really like about manuals, right, especially in this situation, man, that thing's going to haunt you forever.
Embedded in my forehead.
Yeah. Is like just
going
going downhill. I
Yeah.
just like to downshift and it just stays there. You just don't accelerate, don't brake. It just, you know what I mean? Like it's just good. But
Well,
then
some autos do that now.
Oh, really? Oh, there you go.
Like if you're manually selecting an automatic,
Yeah.
like say my Ram, you can pick what gear you want.
Oh, cool.
And admittedly more because it's a commercial vehicle,
Right.
you can literally select the gear and it'll hold gear like for going downhill or towing trailers or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Currently, I'm eating my words.
Yeah, but it is an anomaly.
What was the number again? So are you putting the exact amount that you need in the gearbox?
Yeah. Ish. I
Yeah,
probably got
cool.
a bit overboard there.
We'd rather be over than under, right?
Well,
You got your catch can
not
there
if
in
it spews
case.
out everywhere. I'll dump a little bit out. For anyone wondering how I'm doing this, I cut the bit off the gearbox at one point because it's just easier.
Okay.
There is a nub that's supposed to be there to protect it,
I see.
but then it also means you can't just get a spanner here.
Yep.
You're gonna have these gnarly, funky sockets, and I don't need that bit for what we're doing with this car. That does not matter.
Fair.
Very nice.
Click.
Did you hear my shoulder?
Sure did.
Nice. Your hearing is pretty good.
No, you didn't hear it?
No, I did.
Yeah.
It was my shoulder.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm aware of it.
I've got to get myself one of those too.
Which?
These.
Yeah.
I feel like the metal one hurts my hand.
Twin plate noises. Are the tyres on the ground?
I think so.
Yeah, just go up on the hoist. I'm like, why is it dragging? Right, that should be good. Mad.
Like your wall paint.
It's good, huh? Well, that pretty much wraps up another day at BCW. The Falcon did get us for a little bit there, having the damaged bolts in the crank and trying to dowel it. Drilling through that chromoly flywheel, it was just pretty hard. Unfortunately, also the doweling kit we used, the instructions were actually incorrect on which drill was the larger drill of the two. So there's a marginal size variation, shall we say, where it should have had the smaller drill bit in the crank and the larger in the flywheel, but they both copped the large one, so is what it is. I mean, there's only 10 thou in it, but it may be the difference between an interference fit and a press fit. So, that being said, it's all gone back together well. We've got that classic quintessential twin plate rattle now, so it's really stoked with that. Thanks to Sparesbox for the clutch. We've been using Extreme clutches for ages now, and in my opinion, they're one of the better clutches on the market. Also, massive thanks to Grit Mitts for their continued support. I hope you guys jump on the free giveaway that we're doing at the moment. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.